Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So this is the first meeting this council year of the committee. So the first item is to receive the minutes of the meeting held on the 1st of March, which I think have been circulated in the past. Are those agreed? Agreed. Thank you. Any apologies for absence or substitutions, please?
Yes, Chairman, we have apologies from Councillor Isherwood, who has actually joined us on Zoom, but is unable to be in person at the meeting, and also Councillor Michaela Martin, because she's now a county councillor and she's now stepped down from the committee. So we have Councillor Cossa here to substitute for Councillor Isherwood, and Councillor Ward here to substitute for Councillor Martin.
Thank you very much. Are there any declarations of interests?
None given, Chairman.
Thank you. Members, anybody want to? No? Oh, excellent. Any questions from members of the public?
None received, Chairman.
Thank you. Item 6 of the Licensing Act 2003 items, the appointment of Licensing Act 2003 subcommittees for 2021-22. The current subcommittee memberships are listed on page, well, the unnumbered page, but the third page, as it were. Subcommittees A, B and C. Are those agreed?
Chairman, we will require... Sorry.
I was going to say, Chairman, as Councillor Michaela Martin is no longer on this committee, we'll need to review Subcommittee A, will we not?
Yes, indeed we will. Who is replacing Councillor Ward, I believe, is the replacement. And it is on the party lines, isn't it? Although this doesn't work on party lines, that they're still allocated in that way. So you will replace Councillor Martin. Thank you, Councillor Ward. Thank you and welcome. So with that amendment, is that agreed? Agreed. Thank you. Item number 7 is the appointment of the Licensing General Purposes Subcommittee. And the current membership is as listed. And Councillor Ward will come in there as the substitute, yes. Is that agreed? Agreed. Thank you very much. Item 8, colleagues, is the review of the Waverley Borough Council's policy for the licensing of sex establishments and a consultation. There isn't, as it says in the papers, there isn't a formal requirement for the council to adopt a policy, but it's beneficial, it is thought, to have one, even though we don't have any establishments. So there was a policy introduced in 2012, and that is set out in the papers, and it is suggested that we go out to consultation to any interested party. Mr. Hughes, is there anything you want to say?
No, thank you, Chairman. You've covered most of it. It's just saying it's a 12-week consultation from the 19th of July, I believe it is, till the 11th of October 2021. We may be proposing some minor changes to it, but basically we're looking, simply inviting suggestions or comments from the public and regulatory bodies, etc.
Thank you very much. Councillor Ellis.
Thank you, Chairman. A quick question, if I may. On page 15, item number 6, exemptions. Excuse me. The second paragraph gives indication, 3 bullet points, 3 reasons why a licence may not be required. Could the officer please confirm how this is monitored? How will we know if people are having these entertainments?
On application, well, we'll either be identified through, if they're doing it illegally, we'll hear how it's going on. We've had one premises before, but otherwise they will put in an application, and all our applications will come to a committee hearing regarding sex establishments.
Thank you. Councillor Davidson.
I got a couple of questions, if I may. Are we going to be revising this document before we send it out to consultation? My sense is that it's got a lot of stuff in there, as indeed as the next document, which could well be revised in light of the fact we are now in 2021 as opposed to 2016 or whenever it was. And I would suggest that as far as documentation is concerned, or policy documents, you do not put in dates. They must, I would suggest and urge you to use more generalized phrasing. And a last comment, if I may, could we please follow the direction which we asked, I think, 2 years ago, and have all our documents version controlled? We don't see that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hughes. Obviously the dates are from the last time we did this, and this has been put on so we can see what we did last time, but the dates will be corrected, I assume, before this goes out.
Oh, well, on the current policy, well, the current policy is the current policy, so that's one's going down. Any new additions, and obviously going forward, any dates would be changed, but we will take the comments on board.
Thank you. Councillor Keane.
Thank you, Chairman. On page 49, 1.5, they're talking about protection of children. The council...
Can I just stop you? That's the next item.
Sorry, I've gone too far.
That's the next item, yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you. So on that, are there any more speakers on that item? Councillor Hyman.
Yes, apologies for being a little late. I was waiting for an appointment with Waverley that didn't turn up, so I've hung around as long as I could, but I've raced over because I thought it was important, and I'm glad that Councillor Davidson has just pointed out that that there are issues with this which need to be addressed before we go and take it forward to consultation, because there's no point in, obviously, making members of the public, the people who we're supposedly serve, go through the work of change, each one of them telling us exactly the same things that need sorting out. If we're, obviously have the opportunity to do it ourselves, so we end up with something which is consultable. We don't have video recordings and video sales shops the same as we used to have. I assume we're talking about the policy and licensing establishments policy.
Yeah, we don't have any.
I've got a list of a dozen or so bits and pieces that I thought ought to be addressed before we go forward. So I would agree with Councillor Davidson that before it goes to consultation, not afterwards. Let's not trouble the people we serve with expecting them to do the same. Let's just run through it and make sure that it is suitable to go forward to them. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes, the document that is attached is the current document, and when it goes out to consultation, the dates will all be changed for, if you approve of it going to consultation. What is here is the current, so that you can see what we currently say, and it's just if we want to make any changes to the main, not just the dates. So with that in mind, are we happy with Councillor Reid?
Thank you, Chair. I understand that the policy is a policy for 5 years, is it not? In that case, whatever date is decided upon stands for 5 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, that's correct. Anyone else? So are we happy for us to consult based on the current policy? Is that agreed? Thank you.
Abstain on that then, because I'd want to save people some effort by putting forward improvements to it that are necessary before we go forward.
Thank you. Now to the review of the Council's statement of gambling policy consultation. Again, this is something that we are required to do and have a statement on gambling policy. I think we're one less gaming shop now, betting shop, than we were a little while ago. Mr. Hughes.
Again, for the same reason, this one is a statutory requirement, and this one is every 3 years for the Gambling Act. It's for the same dates. We're doing the same 12-week consultation. Again, it's just to get you to approve that we're going to send it out for consultation. Officers will look at any changes in legislation to update that as well as part of the legislation, and we will consult with the public and statutory bodies.
Thank you very much. And the current policy is that is attached, which would obviously be amended to fit the new dates that are required for the 3 years involved. Members. Councillor Reid.
Thank you, Chair. On page 49, I'm sorry if I've taken your thunder, Councillor Keane. Yes. Interested parties, for those people who are, like me, new to this, could perhaps Mr. Hughes, our officer, talk about which interested parties and how are they consulted upon? Thank you.
Mr. Hughes, perhaps you could...
Again, we have a whole list of interested parties. You've got the gaming care people, obviously, businesses around general public. We put it on our website. I can't think of the name now, but there's the Association of Businesses that we send it to. We send it to parish councillors, police, fire, gaming board, HMR, customs, etc. So we do a wide range. I could give you a full list of, and then we'll either email it to them. We obviously put it on the web, as I said. We will be doing a notification through our the comms people. So it does go far and wide. And then, like I said, we email a lot of people as well.
Councillor Keane, yes, I was coming back.
Got the right one here. I just wanted to ask. It says about advising the council of the protection of children from harm, and the designated group for this is Surrey Children's Services. And given that they have problems with funding and resources, is that going to be appropriate? Because obviously if they haven't got the resources to do it, children can slip through the net.
Thank you. I'll ask the officers to comment. I think we're just consulting.
Yeah, we will. There is one of the standard bodies is for the child protection, so that they would be one of the ones consulted on this, as we do with licensing for Licensing Act legislation as well.
Thank you. Anybody else? Councillor Hyman.
Just same comment as before, really. Only there's very little that I've found in this that needs any sort of revision. But on what's just been said, I think it's now called Surrey Children's Services. If you visit the Surrey website, it's not service, it's services, just so that people know what it is specifically that because it doesn't tell us specifically that we're referring to Surrey County Council, does it? It just says to Surrey Children's Service, which, you know everything with Surrey written in it is actually Surrey County Council, but so we need to make sure that we get the name right. If you just check at the top of page 51, for instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, seventh word, I think it is. It's a very long one, word better regulation. We've got a few bits and pieces like that in there. Just need somebody to go through and read it before it goes out to consultation, Chairman, because we certainly don't want to be making the public our proofreaders for us, do we? We should be doing that work ourselves properly. There are links on that page there. I'm not sure whether it was a DPI. I noted I went to the links at the end of paragraph 1.7, and they just gave a 404 error. We've changed our website. We've put new everything's got a new address. So those need to be changed. So we don't want to go out with those links as they are, please. So I read through this actually not from my hard copy, but from my from the online copy. So I was able to try them easily and check. But yeah, those don't work. At the foot of the page, also on that page 51, that link there doesn't work either. The one to safeguarding. So that's an out-of-date link as well. And on page 8, which is page 52, there is a link at the top there to Surrey, to Safer Waverley Partnership, and that link doesn't work either. Okay, they're all 404 errors.
Thank you very much. Can we check?
But other than that, I think fine, and we haven't got any sex shops, have we? So the previous one, the same. They're not that important, but we ought to get it right before it goes out. Thanks.
Can we check the links? Yeah, I expect they have been updated during the period. Or there's a fault on them or whatever, but if we could check those. Thank you. Councillor Reid.
Just a comment to Councillor Hyman. He obviously has missed the misspelling of Parliament on page 50.
I left that one for you.
Any other comments, please? No? Thank you. So can we agree for that item to go out to consultation? Thank you very much. And that brings to an end the business of this committee. Thank you very much for attending. Those that are on the next one, which is general purposes, will start at 10:30, I think. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I just wondered, post-meeting, we had a lot of troubles with the system in the chamber. There's no problem with the microphones in the chamber being heard. We can hear each other perfectly. But if you look at the ONS meetings held in the chamber last week, the sound quality on the webcast was so appalling, it was almost impossible to hear. So we have got a Western Planning meeting tomorrow night. I want to know today, really, and right now, whether the system's fixed. So is it possible for us, please, to have feedback this morning, without all of us having to race home and look at it, to see whether whether the sound this morning is okay, because I don't know whether it's been fixed. And if it hasn't, we need to talk about tomorrow's meeting.
We have the engineers coming in to look at the sound. We believe it's to do with the Wi-Fi link to Zoom, and it is being checked out. But I don't know when they're coming in. I just know that we've got the engineers coming in to look at it.
Right, but that has ramifications for tomorrow, and I would doubt if it's the Wi-Fi link to Zoom, if it's the from the symptoms that there are, and leave it to the experts, eh?
Not within my jurisdiction, thankfully. I don't